Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 12. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Okay, so we're picking up where we left off last week. So they holding King back, and Sweet Tea running up on King, ready to swing into action. Ma'am, go make sure your man is okay. Quad had to say, go get your husband. Go get your husband. Yes, child, please go get your husband, child. Y'all all losing it. Listen, I was with Dr. Eugene when he was over there hugging Dr. Damon's neck. He said they are losing their minds. They really are losing their damn minds. I don't know what y'all drinking out there, but y'all need to put that down. Dr. G, why the hell were you skipping to my loo backwards? You had all that mouth. But as soon as he ran up, you start skipping backwards. See, that's why you should just be quiet. So Cecil and Steve are over there trying to calm him down. Back over with King and Quad. King is telling Quad, yeah, he won't do it no more. And you can say whatever you want. She's talking about, okay. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. Neither of y'all need to speak to each other. King, I know you defending your woman and whatnot. But you cannot tell this woman that she can just run off the mouth or at the mouth and talk to people all crazy and you just gonna swoop in. That's how you get yourself in situations that are not favorable for you. That's how you get locked the hell up. Listen, I'm all for you defending your woman, but at a point you have to also say to your woman, listen, I can't be out there fighting them streets every night. You're gonna have to make sure that you're talking to people with respect so they don't disrespect you and I don't have to disrespect them. Okay? Baby Quad was looking at King like, you know what? I know we do it 15, but we can make it 16 tonight. Baby, she was looking at that man. Meanwhile, Sweet Tea is over there with Dr. Mimi, and she's like, don't let these people get in between your marriage. This is your covenant. They trying to get in between your marriage. Dr. Mimi, I know you're new here. Now, Paige and Dr. Mimi, listen, ma'am, nobody is trying to get in between Dr. G and Sweet Tea. Nobody. Now, are they orchestrating some mess to get it started? Absolutely. But I don't think they're trying to break their marriage up. I really don't. Don't nobody want Dr. G but Sweet Tea. Okay. So now Sweet Tea is basically having a nervous breakdown. Now, y'all already know I don't give a damn what people are about to say about what I'm about to say. This show is turning way too dark. This woman had a nervous breakdown. Do you know what that entails? That's when you can literally not control your emotions. You are so overwhelmed and so much stuff is happening to you all at once. So Phaedra starts speaking in tongues. She's praying over her. Dr. Contessa comes over. She keeps telling her, you are safe. You are safe. And you got Dr. Mimi. She's over there as well. And Dr. Simone, Dr. Jackie, and Heavenly, they just looking. So then Dr. Simone gonna get in a confessional and say, you know, it's hard to see God would choose Phaedra to speak to, to Sweet Tea, but he's not talking to her at all about her messed up relationship with Apollo and Shireen. Dr. Simone, let me just get you together. First of all, that's ignorant. Okay, that's number one. Now, listen, I am no phony Faye fan. I am not. The people will tell you. But God uses sinners and saints. And I'm not going to just act like he doesn't. You don't know that lady's relationship with G.O.D. You just don't know that. It's certain things that you just should not speak on. And let's not be hypocritical. Because when Quad was breaking down over there at that damn dude ranch, you and Dr. Jackie were praying over her. And truth be told, who's to say y'all hearts are pure? I wouldn't be letting y'all pray over me. And y'all just tried to kick me off the island last week. It is okay to pray for those that you like. But y'all want Sweet Tea to just sit here and suffer? That is crazy. And Toya, you sitting here with your damn hand on your hip, letting your backbone slip when everybody was rallying around you and Mariah when y'all was knocking each other's heads off. Come on, y'all. That is ludicrous, honey, and not the one that live in Atlanta. Y'all are toxic. I'm sorry, y'all are toxic. Y'all brought Apollo and his mistress and propped him up, and y'all want this lady to talk to him. Did y'all ever watch Real Housewives of Atlanta? She has never played those games. Those ladies tried to throw her a divorce party. She said her stomach hurt and she gonna go get her some ginger ale. Kenya was like, so you're just gonna find some random ginger ale? I am. Baby, Phaedra has never stayed in the face of danger. So I don't know what y'all talking about, but y'all should have known that lady was not going to talk to Apollo and this woman. Apollo talking about, I know her since 97. I ain't never heard nothing like that. And so what? And you probably couldn't hear it for all the stuff you was doing, child. Meanwhile, Dr. G over there lying, talking about, he asked me to apologize, and I did. And he's still talking ish. You did not. Okay? You did not. You just lying. Sweet Tea tells Dr. G, we just need to go home. Let's just go home. Yes, I think that's best. I think that's best. And you know what, Sweet Tea? Your intuition told you don't come on this trip. You should have listened. So Simone tells everybody, you know what? This trip is over. I had to call in another boat. So now they're leaving on 2 separate boats. It's gotten that bad. They're on 2 separate boats. Dr. Jackie is over here trying to get King to see that it's not worth it. King said, well, you know, I don't have a problem with him. I can't tell. Everybody keeps talking about how they ain't got no problem with the other person, but everybody fighting. It's not making no sense. Curtis and Scott are saying, look, we hate that it had to come to that. I'm sorry, Dr. Scott. I hate that it had to come to that. Dr. Contessa is asking Dr. Heavenly why it's so deep with her and Sweet Tea. This lady gonna say, she too volatile. You can't be doing all this. If that ain't the pot calling the kettle calling the pot calling the kettle. I have been rewatching old episodes of Married to Medicine, and Heavenly, the way you was out on that street corner with Mariah, girl, please quit playing. You have gotten into more than a little bit. Remember when you went to that throwback 90s party and you was going off on Contessa then? Back when you were calling her Contessa? Girl, please get real. Okay, please get real. You should not be throwing stones from your glass house, or however it goes, child. So then Dr. Contessa gets in a confessional and she says, I really do feel sorry for T. I feel like she's being isolated and she's taking hormones. That's a lot. Oh, baby, she going through. When I say she going through, let me just say this. This season showed me, not only with the cast, but some of these viewers, that there are a lot of adult bullies. Y'all should really be ashamed of yourselves. And that's why we have so many things going on in these schools. That's why so many kids are afraid to go to school, because y'all are at home raising little bullies. Like, come on now. You see this woman having a nervous breakdown. You gonna sit on this boat and say, and I know it's going to be people that's like, well, she grown. She learned how to control her emotions. Yeah. I got it. You mean to tell me that y'all can rally around Quad and all of her soliloquies and her spoken words and all that she brings? And I like Quad. Don't get me wrong. And you can pray for her. But this woman feels so unheard, so not seen. She's emotionally losing it, having a full-on breakdown. And you gonna say she's too volatile? Girl, anyway, moving forward. In boat number 2, you got Sweet Tea, Dr. G, Check, and Phaedra. Now, Dr. G ain't saying nothing. Sweet Tea leaning over talking to Phaedra, talking about, I just walked up and asked a question, you know, and I don't want to beat up a senior citizen. T, girl, don't piss me off. Now is not the time for the age shaming. I don't know why you keep saying senior citizen when your man is older than these ladies. Not Dr. Jackie. But why do you keep saying that? Okay, because if they shame you back, then it's going to be an issue. So stop saying stuff like that. See, this is what makes people not like you, because, you know, you'll have your moments and then all of a sudden you'll say something crazy talking about you ain't never been in a fight. Well, how you ain't never been in a fight in your life and you're combat trained? Make it make some sense, Sweet Tea. So then they started talking about Check being on the trip, and Check was like, you know, that's his friend or whatever. Phaedra said, oh, who cares? I'm single. He's single. She said, you know, I came on the trip to get to know Check, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. Moving forward. In boat number 1, Simone talking about, I don't know how we're going to work this out. I don't know how you're going to work it out either, but I don't need to stop all that damn hollering. Okay, it's been too much going on. Y'all need to stop orchestrating this BS and let these people be with their new partners in peace. Stop it already. Just stop. Y'all always want to act innocent when y'all hands are dirty. Stop it. So everyone is saying, this is a bigger situation than we've ever experienced in the group. Let's revisit episode 1, season 1 of when Toya and Mariah physically fought. Mariah clucked Toya in the head with her purse. What are you talking about? Let's also revisit when Lisa Nicole threw that drink. What about your lesbian relationship? When she threw that drink in Quad's face, and Quad wore that big ass Band-Aid acting like she had got cut up. What are you talking about? The only difference is that this time it involves both the men and the women. So it seems worse, but y'all have always been getting to it. And it looks like they didn't even fight. Now, I'm sure that it was something more than what we saw, but based on what we saw, it looks like King ran up to him and he backed up. In the next scene, it's the next day. Dr. Contessa goes in to apologize to Dr. Mimi for all of the sandstorms. She said, girl, you know, we usually not like this. And is. Across the way, Heavenly and Dr. Simone are sitting in with Shireen and Apollo. Here go Heavenly apologizing to them. Why are they getting an apology? For what? He knew full well his ex-wife was on this show. Why are you following this woman around from show to show? Why are you listening to Dr. Heavenly inviting you on, or producers? Because y'all like to say that. Y'all, you know it wasn't Heavenly. You know it was producers. I don't care if it was the director, the producer, Tyler Perry. Why did you accept? Phaedra is on this show, so there's no reason that you should be here. Like, you brought this on yourself. What are they apologizing to you for? Apollo know dang on well that he and Phaedra are not together. So Apollo talking about, you know, I don't like that Phaedra brought my friend, but Chet called me last night and told me the car was outside and we went to the strip club. Shireen, are you here? Girl, you let him say any old thing. Like, that man is not with Phaedra for real. Let's just be serious. Chet and Phaedra are just hanging out for this show so they could leave her alone. And Shireen, you a fool, honey. You are a fool to be sitting up here, sitting next to Apollo while he talks about how upset he is seeing his wife with another man. It just so happened to be Chet. It could have been anybody. Apollo was going to feel the exact same way. He more worried about Phaedra than you. That is insane. Moving forward. So Dr. Heavenly talking about, y'all came for some healing, though. I know y'all did. Girl, what? And who in this group is going to offer healing? Shireen said, yeah, and Phaedra had a very different agenda. Now, she just didn't let y'all play in her face. And that's just that on that. Meanwhile, Phaedra is packing to leave and Dr. Jackie comes over. Phaedra tells her, I am most disappointed with you because I trusted you. Now, I don't know why. Dr. Jackie and Dr. Heavenly are one and the same. Dr. Heavenly is just more upfront and vocal about it. They share the same ideas. Trust me. Moving forward. Dr. Jackie talking about, well, I don't know why you feel that way, Phaedra, because Heavenly said that you knew Apollo was coming. Now, y'all notice that Phaedra didn't really say nothing. She just sat there like, everybody on mute. Phaedra. Okay, girl. So she said when he came and I saw him approaching the boat, I was like, okay. Jackie said, Dr. Jackie said to insert myself would be to get in something that I have no idea about. Like, I don't even know Apollo. So she said, what would you have liked me to have done differently? Phaedra told her, well, nobody really showed up for me at all. And these aren't the types of girls that I like to hang out with. All right, this is why I have to go this way. I know it's another show, but let's not act too innocent, Phaedra. Let's not. When you had a good friend that rode for you, i.e. Candy, you did that woman in. Okay, you did her in. So one could say it's Bravo karma. I mean, you really could. And also, let's not forget, as soon as you got over here, you started dragging the Real Housewives of Atlanta, talking about, I wish I would have been over here with you ladies. I probably would still be married. And now you see what it really is. Over on the other side, Dr. Heavenly over there asking Apollo, what does Phaedra really think about us? What the hell is happening? Like, what is happening? How would Apollo know how Phaedra really feels about y'all? She don't even like him. Like, don't be silly. This is crazy. He's talking about, y'all are doctors and she's a lawyer. So it's sort of a battle of the minds. Heavenly talking about, no, that's because we see through her BS. And I mean, it ain't bad, but that's all it is. He talking about, yeah, because y'all stand y'all on. And her and Simone, yeah, we some boss bees. We some boss bees. Are y'all still mad because she called y'all those types of witches? Because that's what it's giving. That we really ain't never gotten over it. In what world, now I want to ask y'all this. In what world would anybody sit with a scorned ex and take their word for it? How does that make sense? Apollo just want to be on TV. He and his bride can go. Okay? They can go. Apollo, go away from me with this. And y'all are messy for sitting here gossiping with this woman's ex. But then if she brings this up, then y'all are going to act like, no, we were just trying to get down to the real. See how it can help the group. Y'all just be lying. Moving forward. Over in Phaedra's room, she's telling Dr. Jackie, I'm leaving. Dr. Jackie said, why? Why don't you stay and talk to the ladies about their lack of support? For what? Talk to them for what? They know what they did. and they don't give a damn. So why would she talk to them? She said, some people can be played with, but I'm not one of them. Listen, she doesn't really stick around when foolishness ensues. She just starts the foolishness behind the scenes. She says she does not play with those kinds of mean girls. Phaedra said nobody can survive that's new on this show because everybody that comes in, they treat them poorly. I feel like it was cool before it was done to you, Phaedra. Quad experienced this same thing last season, and you decided to take a separate flight so you wouldn't be tied up with Quad. They've always been underhanded. Now, all of a sudden, because they're orchestrating and puppeteering your life, now you can't hang with these types of mean girls. So are you cool with the mean girls if they're not mean to you? I'm so confused. Baby, now she's off on her PJ, honey. Dr. Jackie is like, really? Do you want to leave this way? She said, I do. Honey, she does. So let her go. Moving forward. Dr. Jackie then gets in the confessional being shady. Talking about we aren't mean girls. You know, that wasn't in the book. Maybe that wasn't in her law book. Y'all definitely are mean girls. Tell me, you just have to be strong enough to hang out with us. Ma'am, please. Okay? Please. Y'all are giving miserable and mean and hypocritical. Let's just be all the way real. When Audra came on this show, Toya embarrassed her about wearing a champion sweatsuit. Dr. Jackie, you outed Buffy's infertility in a room full of strangers. Anila was a puppet. That's neither here nor there. That's just a side note. Last season, Dr. Alicia wasn't even shown speaking unless it was y'all making fun of her marriage. There's a reason nobody makes it past season 1. Let's be clear. 2 things can be true. Phaedra was all for getting rid of Quad. Remember, my marriage might have been saved if I had been over here with y'all. But y'all are mean girls. Period. Now this, she's on point with. Both things are true. Y'all are mean girls, okay? And Phaedra was okay with it when it was benefiting her. In the next scene, Dr. Eugene, Dr. Damon, King, they're all in one car. Scott, Steve, and Curtis, they're in another car. So the men are going one way and the women are going another. In the ladies' car, Toya said, I don't even know why Apollo was on this trip. You and me both. I'm still confused. Okay, why don't you ask Dr. Heavenly? She know why he was on this trip. Toya tells them, Sweet Tea left. Heavenly talking about good. She need to go. That's all y'all wanted was to push her out. This is sickening. If y'all don't see an issue with this, baby, I don't know, honey. My character is just not like this. So this isn't mean girl behavior. For everybody who watched this episode, you didn't see an ounce of mean girl behavior. Not just for the lady that y'all like. Because, see, I've noticed that as well. They get they're mean girls. They're miserable because they're messing with Phaedra. But as soon as they mess with Sweet Tea, it's like, oh, nah, she deserves. She's stupid. I don't like her clothes. I don't like her shoes. I don't like her teeth. Y'all got a problem. So I'm just trying to figure out, is this mean girl behavior right here as well? This is not an episode of Survivor. Everybody has gone home. Dr. Simone talking about, yesterday showed that Quad and Dr. G, they don't have a good relationship post-divorce. Duh. Girl, were you at the reunion where they discussed the physical abuse in their marriage? Did you really think everything was sweet? Lady, get real. Y'all knew this before they came back on this show. Now you're trying to act all surprised. I thought they were better than that. I don't know how. The man did interview after interview after interview after interview once he left this show about Quad. So what are you talking about? In the next scene, they get to the bar, right? And Simone is saying, it's never been this bad with the group. And the worst thing was King and Dr. G. Well, we can thank y'all for that. Quad talking about, it won't be like that today. Of course it's not going to be like that today. Everybody is gone. And Quad, I'm going to need you to take some kind of accountability for your part in this whole mess because it kind of snowballed. When y'all went and did that little trivia, it's never gotten back on track. Y'all should have stopped it then and all came together and said, listen, what happened last night cannot happen. I know that tempers are high and I know that emotions are high. And I know this is not an ideal situation to be put in, but we're all on this trip. So we need to respect each other and make the best of it. Y'all just acting like ain't nothing happened. Over with the men, they're talking. King is saying, it's about the disrespect. Listen, King, I get it. Okay. And they got you the right name. I get it. And I did appreciate you going over there and checking him about your woman. But I still stand by the fact that it was the wrong time. Tensions were already high, but Dr. G needs to be checked. That mouth is reckless, especially when it comes to women. So I get it. I just don't like the timing. Over with the women, Dr. Simone is telling the group that Phaedra left because they're mean girls and she's done with them. Simone said, well, we won't miss her. Toya said, well, not me. She's cool with me. Ma'am, all y'all. She don't want nothing to do with none of y'all. Dr. Jackie said, well, she's in flight. She's on her PJ. They was like, she took a private jet. Here go Heavenly. That's Phaedra. Listen, I don't see nothing wrong with stunting. If she can afford to, then why not? I ain't never gonna knock somebody hustle. So, baby, if you can afford a private jet to get up out of there, then get the private jet and get up out of there. Moving forward. In the next scene, it's time for them to do the couples therapy. And Toya laying across the bed, honey, she being all the way real. She was like, why do I need therapy from people who don't know nothing? Dr. Eugene talking about, well, let's just go. She said, why can't we just do something else without them? He said, because that's not what we do. Look, I'm with Toya. Ain't no way that I would sit with these women after all this, knowing that they don't know a damn thing. So on the way to the couples therapy, Dr. Contessa, Dr. Scott, Dr. Mimi, and Steve, they're all in one car, and they decide to FaceTime Dr. G and Sweet Tea to let them know it's not because they're not wanted there. They just want to make sure that they're okay. Now, I thought that was nice of them. I'm sure Sweet Tea felt like nobody cared about her. I'm sure she did. Now, as for Dr. G, he deserved to be checked, just not in that moment. He talked crazy to women, point blank and the period. I have been saying that since the beginning. I just feel like it was the wrong time. Back in the A, Sweet Tea and Dr. G are at home, okay, and they're sitting at the table. He's telling her he didn't like Quad saying she left him, but she did. You even said that. You said she moved out of the bedroom. Y'all hadn't had sex in years. She dipped and she took your sleep number. She left you. I'm sorry that your ego is bruised, but you shouldn't be spending this much time on technicalities. Who cares? If you're in a happy marriage and a relationship today's date, who cares if you left her or she left you? Would it make you feel better if she says, and Dr. G left me? Chloe? Kari? Would that make you feel better? Like, what y'all be talking about, honey? What do y'all be talking about? Dr. G said, I'm just happy we got out of there because it would have been a fight to the death. Well, baby, what'd he say that for? Sweet Tea said it wasn't going to be no fight. I don't think it was going to be all that. Then he go talking crazy. Do you know him? She said, no, but that's just my opinion. I don't think that there would have been a fight to the death. He said, what you was going to do? You know what? You just naive. She told him, listen, I'm combat trained. Man or woman don't matter. Listen, only one of them was running to the fight. The other one was running away from the fight. So I'm trying to figure this. She got confused halfway on her way to the fight. Child, it was just so confusing. But I would put my money on Sweet Tea. She ain't never scared. Honey, it's giving bone crusher. Moving forward. So he's telling her she running up to a man. You run up in a man's face and you don't think you naive? Now, in the real world, does that make sense? Absolutely not. Okay, you should never run up on a man. I don't care what kind of training you have. A man is always going to be stronger in a sense. Okay, so I just wouldn't do it, me personally. So, baby, he goes upstairs after he done been disrespectful, and she follows him upstairs. He talking about, you did this. Don't make me go off. So she's telling him, I'm entitled to my opinion, Gregory. Not married to him, you not. You ain't entitled to nothing. And he talks to her like she is beneath him. He said, you think you know everything. So do you. Okay, so y'all are a match made in heaven. She told him, no, I'm just looking out for the team. He gonna say, well, listen to the team leader. That man said, I don't know who you think you talking to. Sir, she is not your damn child. Oh, wait, baby. Now she trying to whisper to my, shut up. Don't say that. Shut up. No, ma'am. We know the real Dr. G. And I know that you don't want people to hear you being talked to like that. I get it, sweetie. It's embarrassing. And you don't want to give these people any more ammunition than they already have. I get it. Because you're trying to create a different narrative for this man that we all knew that Quad was married to. I'm going to just say this to you. This is the same version of this man that Quad got. He didn't change. He just switched wives. He's verbally abusive and he thinks women are beneath him. Letitia, let me tell you something. You need to reevaluate some things. Let me say this to you. You need to ask yourself 2 questions. And I wish somebody would have taken me to the side and said this to me. Number 1, can you put up with being talked to and treated like this for the rest of your life? And number 2, if in the event you do get pregnant and y'all get a divorce, could you see yourself co-parenting with Dr. G? He got all this mouth for Sweet Tea, but was hush mouth with King. King came to you straight up and told you, don't say nothing else to her. Okay, I won't. Make sure she doesn't say anything to me either. It wasn't until the men came over that you started getting all huffy and puffy. You started showing out. But when it was just the two of you, he straight punked you. And you obliged. Yeah, you told him, make sure your wife don't say nothing to me. But let's just be serious. You do not have the same smoke for a man that you do a woman. This is why Quad left him. And where are all the people that said that Quad was the aggressor? Where y'all at? Because when I said I do not know why they brought this abusive man back on this show, well, Quad got a mugshot too. Yeah, I'm sure she does. When they can't figure out who's the fool, they take both the fools to jail. I'm just saying. Moving forward. In the next scene, it's time for another lemon squeeze led by Dr. Mimi. Okay, she done brought the lemons and she brought Quad's ashtray. So Dr. Simone starts going in with this speech, honey. She starts speaking her speech about how they uphold each other. That's a lie. And how they all have flaws. Okay, that's true. But girl, please, it depends on how y'all feel that season, if y'all gonna uphold each other or not. So they sit down and Dr. Simone asks Dr. Mimi, what do you think about exes being in the group? She said the exes need to do their own work separately. If they haven't, then they need to exit. And I know ain't no work being done. And I agree with that. But why are y'all asking questions that you know the answers to? You know that's silly. So why on earth would you sit here and ask her a question like that? Now on to Dr. Jackie, same question. She said, listen, the ex, she ain't welcome around here. I couldn't handle it. I'm just going to have to be honest. I wouldn't be able to handle that. You know what's so funny about that? You and Dr. Heavenly were pushing for Sweet Tea to come on this show knowing that that's Quad's ex. Why did y'all do that? Why? Y'all wanted her on this show so that her and Quad could go at it. I mean, thanks for being real, but give me a break. And also, why were you asking Phaedra to stay if you wouldn't want to be around your ex? Or you wouldn't want his next around you? So you think that Phaedra's supposed to stay in this environment, but you wouldn't even do it? What are y'all talking about? So then Toya gets the lemon and everybody's afraid. And she says, listen, T was wrong, Dr. G was wrong, but we do some effed up stuff. Listen to me, Toya. You are finally getting it right. But let's add Quad and Dr. Heavenly to that as well. Hell, all y'all. Now, I'm no Dr. G fan. Actually, I can't stand him. But it wasn't all on them. And I'm happy, however, that Toya is telling them what they need to hear. The Golden Girls pretend like they can do no wrong. It is sick. Okay, and Quad, you ain't taking no accountability for your actions and their part in this either. She said, we conveniently say that we aren't mean girls, but then we do some messed up things. You better speak your speech, Toya. You better tell them. There you go, Heavenly. She gonna get the lemons. And she says, I want to say that I was wrong for bringing T around Quad and not considering Quad's feelings. I call BS. Is that real? I mean, I'm not buying it. I've been saying that. But I feel like it's mighty convenient because now you don't like Sweet Tea and she wasn't well received by the viewers. Now all of a sudden you want to apologize for bringing her around and sitting her in front of Quad. It's just giving fake. Others may have believed it, but it didn't seem genuine to me. So then they throw the lemon over to King and Quad. And King is telling them that this isn't a natural environment and both of them have not done the work, but it's real emotions that are going on and they're going to try to work through it. Dr. Eugene gets the lemon and says they need to consider Dr. G's feelings. Did he not put himself in this situation? It would be different if Quad went away and she came back. Dr. G went away and he came back. His group or not. And truth be told, people are like, this is Dr. G's group. This is Dr. G's group. The show is about the women. So I don't know. I feel like people have been considering his feelings a little bit too much. And nobody was considering Quad's feelings, to be honest. So Quad is telling him, I'm not asking y'all to throw him away. I mean, some serious recasting considerations need to be done. Now, I love them as a core group, but it gets to a point where we have to understand that maybe some of y'all need to go. And if I were Sweet Tea, it would be me. I would not return to this. This is too much. Okay, it is not worth your sanity. That beach scene, that was insane. And that scene is never going away. Girl, they are streaming over on the Peacock. You will never be able to live this down. You were having a nervous breakdown. Not to mention, you're being treated poorly in this group of women. You're being treated poorly by your husband. And you got in a confessional and said, I don't know why he's walking away from me. I'm all he got. And he's all that you got. Because like y'all are on an island by yourself. It's not making for good TV. One of y'all gonna have to go. Moving forward. So Curtis wants to know how they can reach out to Dr. G, Phaedra, and Letitia and tell them that they are still a part of the group. Ain't nobody gonna do that. Dr. Contessa tells them that she talked to Dr. G, and of course King is calm, but Dr. G was heated. Oh, baby, he always on 10. That's why he need to stay gone. This is a perfect example of why he needs to stay gone. So then Steve says, taking a second to remove yourself, that's a sign of maturity. Dr. Contessa says that's why people need to leave the group, to not have all the negative noise in their heads. Yeah, I get that, Dr. Contessa, but you and Dr. Scott, y'all left because the heat was too hot on your marriage. You revealed some cracks and you did not like the backlash. You didn't like people's opinions, and that's why you left. It sounds like in this conversation, they're suggesting that one couple leave. And, you know, I think Quad gonna try to fight for her spot, child. Dr. Damon then says that he accepts everyone because they're great people. Now, as I was watching the beach scene and thinking back to earlier in the season, I don't think Dr. Damon is just down for Dr. G like that anymore. Because did you notice he didn't even try to, you know, control the situation or say too much to Dr. G? But when the men were sitting together having cigars, he did let King know, if I were you, I would have done the exact same thing. So really and truly, Dr. Damon is Team King. Okay, and he ain't fooling me. So then Steve was like, that's some wisdom right there, because he don't speak unless he got something to say. Moving forward. Simone wraps up the trip and says that the trip snatched the Band-Aid off some issues. Now they got to go back to the A and figure out how they can move forward. Girl, this trip snatched some edges, not no damn Band-Aid. Y'all didn't even address half of what needed to be addressed. Y'all said right here and let Dr. Heavenly not take responsibility and accountability for nothing. Quad as well. Okay, y'all didn't even talk about what needed to be talked about. So Contessa and Heavenly are okay after they did the exact same thing that King and Dr. G did? Like, they were legit about to fight. What are we watching the same show? I'm so confused. Cecil said in the confessional that they need to hear Sweet Tea and Dr. G's side. And Phaedra might be a lost cause, because sometimes these types of witches, you got to let them go. And honey, y'all know Cecil petty, honey. You better catch him over there on the Twitter. Y'all gonna listen to Sweet Tea? Absolutely not. Okay. And if you do listen to her, you still gonna side against her. So why would she waste her time? And as far as Dr. G is concerned, if he learned how to speak to women, he wouldn't be getting hemmed up. Period. And that was the end of the episode. Child, y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Woo! It was so much hypocrisy all up and through. It just really was. I could literally be here all night long, but I'm not. Y'all comment down below. Tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. Comment, and I'm going to comment back. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.